All right. My name is Katie Hutchinson. I am an e-learning coach with Greater Clark County Schools, and you are at our first Teaching Tuesday, and we are in the session with Newsela. And I have Eddie here, and he's going to tell us all about Newsela. Greater Clark is a one-to-one Chromebook, grades 3 through 12. We do have iPads in some of the younger grades, and a lot of our teachers are eager to integrate technology. The literacy focus is really about giving kids choice and inspiring them to read about things that they really care about. So, Eddie, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, it's all yours.
Great. Well, welcome everybody. I'm going to go ahead and start out by showing you how you will be signing in and creating a account with Newsela. You're going to go ahead and start with the Not a Member Sign Up Now section. When you click that, you'll go ahead and designate that you are a faculty or staff member, typing in your zip code. I'll type in a sample for you, and I'll go ahead and choose that school that I'm a part of, click Next, and I'll go ahead and fill up my information. You'll notice that the email address is required to have a school-owned domain name. For example, with this, you'll notice that glenridge.org is required to sign up. So once you sign up, you're going to confirm it through your email address, and you're going to sign in. So once you're signed in,
Eddie, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Since we are a GAF school and we have Google Apps for Education, and all of our students and teachers have Google Plus accounts, can our teachers just sign up with Google Plus?
They can. So when you're here and you're doing your sign up, you should be able to sign in with Google here. Okay. And I didn't mention that. I should have just mentioned that for you at the bottom there.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, great. Oh, so we're still broadcasting, right? Am I just going to keep going with this? Okay, excellent. Excellent. Fantastic. So you can go ahead and sign in with Google. That is a part that I missed there. So you can go ahead and afterwards sign in. So we have a demo account here to show everyone. So I'll go ahead and use the username and sign in. So now you'll notice I'm taking, the first place you will be brought to is your settings page. You'll actually be brought to your account page. This is information pertinent to your account, and you're just going to be able to see anything that pertains to username, and you'll have your password available to you, as well as any other school information. Then, of course, you'll have here your students page. This is where you're going to create your classrooms. So you'll see that our demonstration teacher here had created 3 classes already, each labeled, and each of them have their sign-up codes. These are the sign-up codes you're going to give to your students, so that when you take these sign-up codes, TNRLU, for example, you're going to go ahead and sign in as a student. So now, as a student, I'll go into this. Yeah. Indicate that I'm a student. Go ahead. Do you have a question?
No, you went away for just a second, but you're back.
Okay, great. So indicate that I'm a student. This is where I'm going to put that sign-up code that my teacher had assigned to me. I'll create a username. For example, I'll be eBatika, and then I'll put in my first name. First name doesn't have to be fully completed. You could even just put your initial, for example. It's probably better to not put the period in, and then I'll put in your last name, create your password, and sign up. Same thing with students. They can sign in with their Google account.
Excellent.
So same thing with the student. Once they sign in, again, we have a demonstration teacher here. Okay, and we'll come right back to the student in just a minute. To continue with the teacher, so now that I've created my classroom, gave my students my sign-up code, and they've signed in with my classes, I'm ready to start assigning them some articles. So to start off with articles, you see all the great topics we have here, ranging from war and peace to sports. And to cut down on the material so I can narrow down what I need to see, I can go ahead and click our filtering feature, and filter all our great content for any material that I want to see specifically. So for example, if I wanted to teach a lesson on ecosystems, I can go ahead and search that. I can indicate a grade level and choose that I want to see specific material that's relevant for my students in the 5th grade. I can do I can choose a specific reading standard so that I can go ahead and indicate that I want my students to be quizzed on a particular topic or a particular Common Core strength area, skill area rather. And anything you choose here is going to give you quizzes. So these are articles with quizzes for these specific standards. And then finally, I can choose articles that just have quizzes, and that way I can narrow down my search for that field. Let's say I'm a 6th grade teacher and I want quizzed articles. I'll go ahead and search that, and I'll go ahead and choose an article that I wanted to assign to my students. So I'm going to go ahead and click into this article. Even before I go ahead and assign that article to my students, the first thing I want to do is use one of Newsela Pro's great writing tool features, which is annotations. And all I need to do is highlight this text, and I can start making notes to myself. It could be very general for myself. Perhaps I want to say to myself something like, share this for an in-class discussion. And I will avoid clicking share because that's a note just for myself. Then again, I can come here and maybe make it a different color, and then I could maybe pose to my students a question. For example, why does the author mention DNA strands? I can go ahead and click share. And I can keep going through the article and asking questions, or maybe just writing notes to my students.
So those are notes that you can make for yourself or for your students before you assign it?
Exactly.
Oh, that is incredible.
It is, isn't it?
Yes.
And I'll go ahead and share that.
Because you could also take those different colors and do like main idea questions, theme questions, or if you want students, especially the lower level students, to focus on like theme is yellow. We did a lot in Post-its. When you annotate with Post-its, and that's a great to keep that going, so students know to kind of activate that schema.
Yeah, absolutely. And another great way that teachers use it that I really like is you'll notice in the quiz there's 4 questions. As a teacher, you'll notice that the answer is highlighted for me. But within the 4 questions, you'll notice that there are 4 colors, and some teachers will assign a color per question and tell the students that not only choose the answer, but annotate in the article where you found your answer and write why you feel it's a strong answer.
That is so much fun, Eddie. I'm glad you're here because you know more about Newsela than I do.
I've had some practice, so.
Good.
So now I'm ready to assign this article. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my grade 6 first period. Since I want to go ahead and assign it to them, I will be assigning 7th and 8th grade a different article. So now I've assigned it to the 6th grade. So now we come back to the students page, and I'm going to enter our binder. Now you'll see here the article is at the very top, assigned. It's the newest article that's been assigned. You'll notice that it's telling me to open my assignment. I haven't opened it yet. All previous activity you can see. For example, this article our student had viewed but hasn't taken it. This is an article the student has taken, shows the score, shows the Lexile level. It doesn't show any grade information. We just show the students the Lexile. So this is the student's view, and then they'll go ahead and be able to enter into the article, and you're going to notice that I had annotated at the 940L level. So this is going to be something that you want to pay attention to when you assign articles. You want to be cognizant of the fact that your students are going to be ranging in levels. So you want to annotate various ones. So at the 940 level, our student here is going to be able to see the different annotations I made. So different annotations should be made for the different articles that you're going to be assigning. Once a student reads it, they might answer back here to any of the questions. So the student will click reply, and we'll be able to say the author mentions DNA forms in order to, and we'll be able to answer it. So the teacher and the student can write back and forth to each other at this point. The student can also write annotations to the teacher and maybe ask them a question.
Oh, that's excellent. Something else too that I'm going to switch over to mine and do a screen share.
Yeah, sure.
Because what you can do is, can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, so some of the extensions in Chrome, if you have Speak It,
Rediscovering.
it will speak it for you. Can you hear that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rediscovering.
And so that's something, because it's been embedded in a web page, students can use that, those, and you can do a whole sentence if you wanted to.
So too is a new movement that is spreading among.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, back to Eddie.
All right, so back to me. So now that the student has gone through the article and annotated, asked any questions they wanted to ask, they can go ahead and take the quiz. They're just going to answer the questions as they go along, choosing the answers. And since I'm answering at random, I'm going to avoid submitting and giving Haley a bad score. That's going to, once you submit, show the teacher the results. Now, in order to show you what that looks like, we'll look at other previous quizzes. So you go ahead and go back into the teacher's binder, and so what you'll notice is this is one example I can show you here. There are probably some other ones in the past, like for example this one, but we'll go with the more recent example. So you have this this quiz. Once you open it up, you're going to have the list of students. You're going to have the grade level that they took the quiz at, their quiz score, and the date they completed it. And you can sort all this information either alphabetically. You can sort it to where the numbers are populated by quiz score, by the date completed. Just so you know, you can keep track in many different ways. So once you click this this student's information, or name rather, this row, you're able to drill down into the actual article and review these answers, either just for your information or even along with the student. Here's one example. You'll notice this multimedia that we include into our article. So this is a great infographic for the students. So I'll exit that. That's one view. You're able to see your students. You're able to see these different assignments. The other way is if you review the class overall, you can see how your students are doing each on average, what their quiz level is that they've been accessing, their quiz average, and then how many quizzes they're taking. So you can see a quick snapshot of how your student is progressing. This is overall. You can also see how they're doing with regards to specific standards. So this is showing what the text says, how well they're able to paraphrase or summarize and identify certain portions of the text. Lastly, you can also see the student progress screen. This is one of the most important screens. This shows you the point where Newsela Pro has categorized your students as either being below grade, almost on grade, or above grade with the star. And if you come down here, you'll also see a notification for you that some students haven't been categorized yet because they need more passing quizzes. But once your student has reached this point, Newsela Pro is able to automatically differentiate your assignments. And what I mean by that is, as you noticed, that when I went ahead and assigned an article, all you're doing is clicking the class and assigning that article. When the student opens it up, you notice that Haley opened up the article automatically at the 740L. That's because Newsela Pro has identified the student as being not at a 6th grade level, above the 6th grade level, but that's why the 740L is the most accessible to that student. It wouldn't open up the article at the 1180. It's going to open it up at the 740. And Newsela Pro knows that because of once you go back into the student progress, you'll notice that Haley Mann is on grade at grade 7, is above grade at grade 7 for a 6th grade class. And that's why Newsela Pro is offering her articles when she opens up at that 740 range. And this is the last portion of the program and the great benefits that it offers.
All right. Anything? Sadly, the Q&A part, I guess, I don't know if I accidentally disabled it beforehand or I should have enabled it beforehand, but next time we do this, we can have a Q&A session. So we don't have any questions right now, but what I saw was fantastic. So what are the benefits of Pro?
So with Pro, what you get is many different features that allow you to manage your students' use of Newsela. Newsela being just the access to free content. Your students get access to the nearly 1,000 articles that we have in our archive, as well as the 400 quizzes. That is a continually growing collection of articles that are appropriate for grades 3 through 12, and that's the extent to the free content. Newsela Pro gives you those great advantages that include keeping track of your assignments in one place, so you're able to quickly identify which students have done their assignments and who hasn't. You're able to use the writing tools to enhance the articles and make sure that you're able to give students the context they need, as well as allowing them to write about what they're reading, annotations, as well as the up and coming constructed response. So you saw the annotations. The constructed response that's coming is going to allow you to provide prompts for your students to write about what they're reading, to answer questions about the text. The third feature overall would be the ability to track student progress, and that you noticed over here in the binder, you were able to keep track of how the students did in their assignments, how the students are doing overall and with regards to specific standards, and then you're also able to see which students are on track or not. One last thing I didn't show you is actually accessing the students' overall performance. You can see this student is not really a great example because they've been highly successful in their quizzes. That's just a bad example, but if you look at the example we've been providing, you can see that this student is more exemplary of what students are doing in our classrooms. They're starting out at the lower range and they're slowly progressing to be more successful. Then lastly is the automated assignments that Newsela Pro offers. So Newsela Pro knows how to automate assignments because of this back-end assessment. Newsela Pro continuously keeps track of students and knows how well they're doing overall to make sure that it's giving them the just right reading level.
And whether I have Pro or not, and I sign in as a student, I can also pick which articles. So I can have the teacher assign articles to me, but I can also choose what articles I want to read. That's correct, right?
That is correct, because we understand that students have different reading proficiency based off of the subject they're reading. Some students have really strong background knowledge in particular subjects, or they might have stronger interest in others, so that they can read those more easily than some other topics.
And does Pro allow you to track things that they choose to read?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does. So if you noticed, as a teacher here, when we're looking at our student Haley Mann, you were able to notice that that not all of these were assigned. You have here in this column here the dates that these articles were assigned, but these are all independent work.
Oh, excellent. That's really cool. I like that. All right. Anything else for the greater good? Is there a way, how, if people are interested in Newsela or Newsela Pro, how would they contact?
That's a great question. So if they wanted to go ahead and contact us, when you're not signed in, you have an About Newsela page that you can access. Go ahead and click that About and access the About page. As you scroll down, you'll be able to read more about it overall. It's not going to be as in-depth as this webinar has been, but you're able to click the green Learn More button because you're interested in subscribing either at the middle screen or at the top, or at the bottom, excuse me, and you'll be able to contact one of our friendly representatives.
Excellent. And they all are very friendly. Well, thank you, Eddie, for joining us today on the Teaching Tuesday for Greater Clark County Schools. If anybody has any questions, find me on Google Plus at +Kathleen Hutchinson, or follow me on Twitter at BookBandwidth. Eddie, thank you so much. Anything else?
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure having you have me. Thank you very much, Kathleen. It was a great experience. Thank you.
All right, Eddie, hang on, and we'll talk some more. And as far as Teaching Tuesday, this is Katie Hutchinson, e-learning coach, signing off.